Hello. Opening with protection of the Stargates. How is everyone? So this beautiful picture is actually drawn for protection around us and this conversation we're about to have. So we are very protected. It's one of my drawings. So hello, I'm Carola. I'm a soul mender. Welcome to this episode. There's woohoo on lots of different subjects. We're going to talk about my drawings of Stargates and what they actually mean. Okay, then we also talk about some of the history of lots of different things on mud floods. They're huge, and what actually happened, and where did these 200,000 children come from that went on this train, and which happened in the, I'll discuss it later as I go into what actually happened. So it's called an orphan train or a baby train. And then we're going to talk about in history they already had incubators and that you could actually adopt children from them. I don't know if it's all true, but apparently someone that was very famous did back at that time. So there's lots of things going on, and then in between, I will use all the cards to ask all different kind of questions. So a little about myself. I'm a psychic medium. I love what I do. I've been doing this. I've been doing tarot readings since I was pretty young. So I think I had my first tarot deck when I was about 15, 16. There weren't many decks around when I was young. It was sort of woohoo in those days, not allowed. So it's quite interesting. So the protection vortex, I'm also an artist, before I forget. My throat's gone really funny. My lights were going on and off before I actually went on. So I think there's quite a few little souls that want to be acknowledged here. So what we'll do, we say a prayer from them because it is huge what I'm going to talk about tonight. To all those little souls that were once lost, find your way home with lots of love. Find it in your heart that to move on and to really be the beautiful soul that you always were. If you're still lost on earth, please go home, follow the light. So it is. So this is a protection. All these square here are for protection. So when I did these drawings, they came in really quick, and I did many of these drawings, like different kind of drawings. So even behind me, they're my drawings over here and over here. And over there are my guides that I work with. A good friend of mine drew that. So she's a guide drawer. So I was very lucky. So on that one, I got Sananda. I got the Palladians standing behind Sananda, the Argenturians, and of course a Chinese helping me to analyze symbols. That's how my symbols came along. So a lot of my drawings actually got symbols in them, light language around, or Stargate opening information. I do quantum, like quantum jumping, quantum frequency, working in vortexes and things like that. So some people might resonate, some don't, but that's okay. It's my hobby, and that's what I enjoy, and that's what I channel. So to me, is this is how, see the soul walking there. So they're in white, right? There's a doorway there, the doorway of destiny. There's energy from the Stargate again, okay? Healing symbols, Stargate energy. So the flow that comes out of them, it's energy, frequency changes so that we can tune into the frequency, basically. It's quite interesting. So this one, I actually drew them to be on an oracle deck, but I've put them on cups instead. So I've done most of the Oracle deck. I've just got to work out how I want to publish it, because I actually don't want to print it in a certain country. So I need to find the best way to do it. So this one is the back of the card. So this is all light language. And a really big vortex and a protection as well. This is our ancestral, traveling back into time, back. And there's a key there. So we got the key for everything. I really love this. It tells us so much of our the ancestral and the people that walked the earth long before we even came here. This one is my Palladian Stargate. And it has symbols, obviously. Not all of them on there. There's some still here. I couldn't fit them all on there, but that's okay. This is a Palladian landing. And there's other species in there. A power gate. Some are square, some are round. It just depends how you look at it. I'll see if I've got any. This is when Uluru awoke. I've spoke about that before. In the matrix, there's this warping. We have a lot going on. So here's another beautiful energy coming through. And these are actually to give us energy, to change our vibration. This is for the sea. This is karma. You can travel up. It's like a train. You can go around it, or you can go up and just let it all go. So today's 2022 is a beautiful energy, just to go, poof, let it go, let it go. I just did it. Such a big cleansing in this room with sage, a burning sage and sage spray, put candles on. I got Angelica root here. Angelica root is a very good protection when you channel, or you know that, because there's sometimes you can feel that weird energies to put it on. These are actually when there's retrogrades. It's like, that's how your brain basically feels. This is the energy of it. It's quite interesting. So this is my Doctor Who box. You can travel around spacing. And of course it has a vortex. It's got the road, a beautiful white road. And then it has a destiny book. That's your Akashic records. Of course, you can rewrite Akashic records. But that's up to you. So this is the tunnel you guys, when people pass over and other people waiting on the other side. That was the most simplest way of drawing it. And you have souls waiting for you on the other side. And it's quite beautiful. So see if I can find any more vortexes. Bit messy today. Ew. Anyway, here's one of the pyramids. It has a Stargate around it. It re-energizes. They're all over the universe. They're quite amazing, actually. And a lot of them were stuck into matrices, so if you can see that. But since the matrix is everything is shifting, okay? We don't have to be scared. We just have to understand that there's a big shift, and that we actually shifting into better places. You know, first everything crumbles and it rebuilds, and then we have a beautiful future. And let's hope that it's for everyone. So bless you all. So what I wanted to go into is, first I'm going to call in what's going on the planet. So these are cards, they're healing discs, okay? Oh, choking on the water, all right. So where are we at with healing in Australia? The animal kingdom. We're heading into the unknown, okay? This is the animal kingdom. they're really good to call in for guides in a moment. Call your animal spirit in, let them guide you. The unknown is that means you need to surrender and trust, basically, okay? Then we got a beautiful energy here. And then we have, let me pick another, the rebirth of the universe. Wow, that's appropriate. That's for the whole world. So is the energy. In Australia, we have to trust the unknown and the momentum be in a moment. And one more lucky card, and hang on, I'll put my glasses on, I can't read. The generating energy. So that's a shift in our body. We need to generate energy. We need to stay in an energy. We need to change. We can't go lumbar energy low anymore. We can't be in low frequencies. So if you have a little bit of a slumber, just sit for a while, meditate, and raise your vibration, basically. Okay, I think that's really important. So with that said, I'm going to go into what I researched the last few days. So it's been an interesting. So I've been watching lots of shows on mud floods because I'm trying to work out. There's such a big gap in history all the time, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. So in Australia, a lot doesn't actually make sense, but a lot of our history has been removed or demolished for don't know what reason. But what I also found interesting is we have a lot of tunnels here in Australia, huge tunnels. Like, it's mind-blowing when you really find out how many there is. And the stonework is really old, so I like what they're telling us in history to what they look like. It actually doesn't make sense. So I'm going to just pull a few cards on that. So in Australia, the stonework in all the tunnels where they make out of welders. Interesting. So straight away, I pull the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so that's basically yes. Okay. I just want to see what other cards come with it. Then, yes, definitely out of welders. We've got the 4 ones yeah. They came through. See how that's got a doorway? They came through the doorway. They didn't land here on spaceships, all right? They came through vortexes and doorways, okay? That's how they impregnated females as well. Oh, interesting. It caused a lot of stress. That's interesting. But I'm talking about the tunnels, so there's a lot of justice there. So we know the tunnels got built they were out of welders, basically. They came here to impregnate, because I've got the Empress here, right? It caused a lot of stress. There's some justice there, so certain things weren't meant to happen and they were judged. Then there was an ending. I've got the 10 here. So there were lots of families together, but there was also a 10, the end of the cycle, right? And then I've got the love of the togetherness in this cycle. So it all went like they achieved what they needed to. Oh. And there were a lot of minerals here on this earth that they came to get and worked on. And then all of a sudden something shifted and there were offers made. Okay. To fill up the cups. There's a page that's young. And the Queen was used for that. Okay. So it's all around that making families, children, such and such. All right, that makes sense. Interesting. So now we're going to go. So the buildings, the really big buildings in Australia and around the world that were left, because there's something that happened. So I believe they're much older than they say it is. So were they built by humans or off-worlders? Straight away, they're not built by. They're built by other and magicians. So they use basically their tools to build them down here. Interesting. Because a magician can move things, can lift things. That is so interesting. And then something happened. I'll go into that in a minute. And it brought the hangman energy in. It's not a good energy. And it's like by this reading, there something was offered to down here, and it wasn't for the highest good of yeah, it was very dark. Yeah, it's a Three of Swords. Yeah. And they kept taking metal, gold, and stuff like that. There was an agreement sort of made, yeah. And it became, from light, it became dark. Interesting. But the housing was built, and then something happened, and then all of a sudden the dark cult took more hold of everything. So as we know in history, there were a lot of sacrifices made and things like that. So, but the funny is there's time warping, time missing. And I keep having all these dreams where they're trying to show me, and it's sometimes the dreams go very fast. It's quite interesting, actually. So, and it shows me what I should look at and stuff. So, yes, the buildings were done a lot before the 1800s. No, the gold rush didn't build them. They wouldn't have had enough people. Now we're going to go into this train. Where did all those children come from? So there's an thing out there, right? So besides the mud floods, so the train, the Orphan Train, the train number was 384. Okay, I was just reading off these. Okay, there were 250,000 children put on orphan trains or baby trains. So in 1840, there was a fire that destroyed records, and around the same time, not long after, the census were destroyed all the other way around, right? The orphan train was supervised by a welfare program, the United States, 1854 and 1929. So the children were placed in all around Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and wherever else they palmed them off to, basically, sadly. Now, I'm going to ask questions. Were they slaves? Were they stolen? And then we're going to women factories, mental asylums that appeared all of a sudden in the 1800s in these big buildings, really lavish. Were there, then I'm going to ask, were there reptilians involved in this as well? Because that sounds very reptilian, okay, to me anyway. So here we go. We're going to first look in the 1700s. Did the good star beings leave this earth? Okay. And I did the good. There was a there. I'm going to use two different decks. I'm going to use an oracle deck and of course, people. So what I'm getting is people stop listening, stop riding the wave. I've got the bone collector. Okay. Details. Something. There was a contract. I think something. All right. So there was making choices. Okay. So basically, what I'm seeing here for the 1700s is, I think some of the Stargates stopped working. That's what I feel that is. Okay. Something that was written in stone, like there's a big shift that happened. I think to telepathically is the list there. Everything changed the way they used to do things, and the wave was disturbed by a bone collector. So all the intention that they gave had to do something with the Stargate. All right, so now I'm going to go into tarot cards. It's quite interesting. Okay, in the 1700s, did the star being, the good light star beings, leave Earth? Yeah, something really big happened. I've got the tower here. So that was a crumbling in the 1700s. And the answer is yes, because I asked a right direct question. And another yes. And there was a war going on, and it brought a lot of stress because it's a 9 of Swords. Someone else was selected because it's the Emperor. The light, the people coming from the light couldn't juggle that dark energy. They just couldn't at that time. So they went back through their Stargate, but left their energy here. And there's a 2 of Cups here. So until everything is balanced, then it will rejuvenate. Until then, it won't. Okay, because I got that there. The 3 of Wands. And the 5, it did a lot of destruction, a lot of darkness. Yeah, but it's getting claimed back as we speak. Well, that's quite interesting. So, yes, it was around the 1700s. Interesting. All right, now we're going to go into the train. So, is Charles Loring Brace, this is for entertainment purposes only, all this is. So you can do your own research on this. Okay. I don't mind. I'm just asking questions to what history is explaining to us. Is Charles Loring Brace, the inventor of this Orphan Train, a dark or light cold? Is he dark or light? Dark energy or light? So it's to do with children and females. So we'll see what else we can pull. Oh, the Emperor. Interesting. Then I've got the 7 of Wands. so you know. He had help from out-of-worlders. Then I got king. Money. A lot of money was involved in this, by the way. And yes, I got the Ten of Swords here. It was very dark. So it was all about the money. Wow. That's sad. And yes, he was dark. Okay. All right. Now, the children that were stolen, because there's over 200,000 of them. All right. We're going to ask, were the children that went on the orphan train in the 70s, I think it started in the 1800s. So 1854 and 1929, were they stolen from their parents, or where did they come from? Oh, the mothers are all tied up. So I've got the world card. So they're all from all over the world. Here's a little child sitting in the mirror. How fucking dark is this? Excuse my language. Oh my God. Yes, they came from all over. So, yes, the children were rounded up. Some were homeless, but not all of them. And the females weren't allowed to talk about it. They're tied up. How dark is that? And you thought things like, oh my God, religion was involved. These are outer-worlders. What I asked before about the reptilian, the dark force. And they were used for substance abuse as well. So a lot of them didn't actually make it. Yeah, it's very sad. Breaks my heart, actually. It's very stressful for them. The reason I'm doing this is I want to clear the energy of it, and here's a moon. It's very dark, okay? It's because we need to clear that energy. So to me is the prayer I said before, but now we're to unhook all that energy. So to unhook the energy, we sit in quietness and just unhook it from the earth and send love back to all the places that it happened, to all the children, to all the souls. We just send lots of love and unhook them from that agenda so that this cycle stops. And that's the most important thing, okay? Yeah. Horrendous. All right. Breaks my heart. Actually brings tears to my eyes. Right, so we know that what happened there. So they basically lied. They reckon all these children were homeless. So basically they became slaves on farms. They became just basically workers for whoever took these children. And so just remember, a lot of these children actually came to Australia as well, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa. And then there were children that went to Mexico, and then Mexican children went, I don't know, that was just such a kerfuffle, very, very dark. And they put a lot of them in Catholic homes to convert them to the Catholic religion. And that's where you saw the religion cards. So we got that. Okay. We know they did that. We know, yeah. So did many children end up underground? I'm only going to do a few more things on this because it's too heartbreaking. There were some people that were trying to save them, and there were a lot of people, and yes, they did, and a lot of children passed as well. But there were some beautiful families that actually took them in and made their lives worth living. And yes, there were many deaths involved. So where they went, okay. So a lot of these children in New York City in the 1950s, there were 10 to 30,000 homeless children that were taken or stolen or made homeless. Is this true? In New York City in the 1850s, there were 10,000 to 30,000 children taken for labor, whatever were they. Is that true that there were homeless? And I bet that, no, they just got taken. It's not true. They're tied up. They were taken by man. Okay. There's a little child in there in the mirror. And whatever the journey was, there's a full card. Page of Wands. So very young, and here is a dark cold. They were taken by the dark cold and made out to be like that. Okay. So I'm just going to, so basically in this story is, okay, so there's a lot of children, 250,000 or more, right? How can 250,000 children be orphaned? Where's your parents? All right, that's what I want to know, okay? And now, so we worked out blah, 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 blah. So apparently some parents were trying to do a lawsuit against this, and apparently some of the parents were ridiculed, really badly treated, went missing, basically unheard. So in 1895, it was stopped. And because parents claimed that their children were stolen, so there was a lot of theft, right? So basically a lot of parents, yeah. And then do you remember the Piper one, when all this, like, he played the pipe and took all the children? That's what it reminds me of, okay? So it's very, very reminds me of that. So it was so because of all the lawsuits that were coming out, it was discontinued in 1930, but not entirely, terminated until the 1970s, right? In 1980, the abuse was exposed. Australia apologised in 2009 for its involvement. And then there was a movie made in 1979 as well. So I'm going to ask if the movie was Dark Cold. It was called something. I know there was a movie made about it, okay? So you can Google it. So is the movie, you might use different cards. It's the movie Dark Cold, about the trains. I think it was called but they portray the movie a little bit different. So it's the movie made by the Dark Cult to show people what they got away with. So it was meant to give you the information because the Sun card is there. And then we got the Cup card. So that's the 4. The Ace, yes, it was made for that, made by that. So it was thrown it in your face, but always I'm making you aware this is just what went on. So it was a long path, the Page of Stone, right? That's the page. It was because it was young people. The 3 of Wands. A lot of dark involvement. Wow. And the Knight of Cups. I'm going to pull some. What was the reason for the movie with the children on the train? That was made in 1979. Explore it, manifest. They make money out of it. Sacred sexuality, just so you see that. Manifest. Explorers. And then there was the death, the ending. Well, that says it all, really, doesn't it? I don't need to explain it anymore. All right, let's send some light around that. Sage up. Beautiful. Whew, that was a heavy one. Well, how ironic. How sad. So that was for entertainment purpose only. Now we'll get into a happier mode because it's Easter. So we're going to ask, is Easter to sidetrack us from was it put here by religion? Well, we know that, don't we? Do you know, sometimes I actually don't mind Easter because to bring something to life again, I look at that. So to bring love back. There's a juggling energy around it. King energy, Pentacles. There's something that's not been said, but that's okay. So let's make Easter something that we rejoice, we love, we enjoy with our family. Change your energy to love. Change your energy to everything now. Celebrate. Yes. Yeah. That's when they did that, yeah. And then bring back the Strength card. So here I put a Death card and the Stabbing in the Heart, which will happen. Basically, if the history is true, that's what happened. So bless Easter. Bless. All right. So we done that. So I'm sorry about this darkery. That wasn't my intention for Easter, but it had to be said. Oh, so the mud floods, yes, they're quite interesting. So I've been watching all these beautiful buildings the last few months. It's like, wow, amazing how much beautiful buildings there actually is. And you know, there are pyramids here in Australia as well. The tunnels. and a lot of it's been destroyed. So it's like they're trying to erase history from us, So I'm going to go into this other subject. Okay, so this is quite interesting. So 2012 is life lessons. 2016 life choices. 2022 is your inner wisdom, which we're honestly working out now. So your divine life purpose started in 2012. So this is going to go to 2022 because we're in 10-year cycles, right? So I'm just going to say, so in 2012, the Mayan calendar ended. It was also the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. It was a return of the English Olympics to Britain, showing you, right? And the beds and the nurses and all that crap, right? So that was your warning. Also in 2012, on the 27th of July to August of 12, what were the movies? The Avengers, Skyfall, The Dark Knight Rises, The Hobbit, and An Unexpected Journey. Interesting. Okay. Events in Australia, motor racing. In 2012, Whitney Houston dies. The Britannica dictionary suspended a print edition. Interesting. 50 Shades of Grey came out, mummy porn. The Dark Knight made $1.5 billion. Gangnam Style, the song came out, Gangnam Style by Carly Rose Jessen, and Call Me Maybe. What else was? So there was also the AMC, The Walking Dead smashes the ratings. Disney buys Lucasfilm from Star Wars Episode 7. Twilight Saga closes. Will and Kate announce their first pregnancy. Interesting. So apparently 2012 is the greatest year in history. Less hunger, less disease, and more prosperity. Really? I'll pull a card on that in a minute. There was heavy rains in the Philippines. It affected 2.4 million. It was a typhoon Sadahaiki. In politics, Obama won his second term. A speech was made to Clint Eastwood, War on Women. Interesting. And the Venus had a rare astronomical event in the past that passed in front of the sun. Interesting. There were a lot of tornadoes, wildfires, drought, and hurricanes. It was an $11 billion disaster. So how can it be the most prosperous? I don't get it. So in 2016, I haven't done 2022 yet because we're still only basically in April of it. But lots has happened in 2022 already. So in 2016, David Bowie dies, Prince dies, George Michael dies, John Glenn, the astronaut, dies, and Connie Fisher dies, who played Layla in Star Wars, and Trump won. That was 2016. So that as far as I got. So quite interesting. All right. So I did ask if the people I read out just before, except one, died under suspicious circumstances. I don't get it with the astronaut, but all the movie stars and singers died under suspicious circumstances. That's what I got, okay? So just so you know that. Quite interesting. All right, now, enough of that. So that was a lot of history to take in for everybody. And some good stuff, some bad stuff. So now let's do something more positive. Let's do positive readings. Like, what is a beautiful message for humanity? Let's do some rosy rose readings. What do we need to know at this moment? I'll do a reading on Australia as well. There's lots happening in Australia. I did a political reading the other day. Interesting. All right. For you humans out there, what do you need to know? You beautiful souls. What is a beautiful message for you? The return, the new story. You decide your new story. The return of who you are, where you want to go, what you want to bring together. It's a beautiful time to manifest. Release the petals. Transformation is here. Let go of everything. Let go of the past 2 years. Stop clinging onto it. Stop making it a drama. It's time to let it go so we can shift forward. Let your energy shift forward. Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within destiny, new destiny. How beautiful. And the fertile void, the inner winter, rest. So do you know, like we're going into winter in the moment where other countries are not. So we're in autumn in the moment. So it's a beautiful time actually to really rebalance oneself and to see what they actually want out of life, where they want to go and what they want to do next. It's just amazing times to do that. The bud, that's where a lot of people are starting, like restarting from the potential, the promise. So my message is it's time to let all this attachment go of the last 2 years. It's not serving us anymore. It's time to release it and really rebalance your energy, because I think focusing on your family is more important than focusing on that. Focusing on just being in this human body is the most beautiful thing. So now I'm going to ask, right? So politics on Australia, right? So the election. I'll go to Pauline Hanson in a moment as well. Is Pauline Hanson going to get heaps of seats in the federal parliament? Yes. The answer is yes. How beautiful. And I straight away, lovely. Is Scott Morrison going to survive this election? Let's have a look. Oh, no. There's a tower. Ah, my heart's not bleeding. Well, goodbye. Okay. The new changes that are coming to Australia in the May election, are they for the better of Australians? It'll be a little bit hard at first. The old system is getting walked away from as we speak. So we've got the Five of Pentacles, right? So it's already been looked at. There's a lot of help. There's in-house fighting in a moment. So me and a friend of mine, we did some remote viewing, right? That's what you call it. That was so interesting. And so we got the Empress here that's beginning, rebirthing. We might get a female in Parliament this time. That could be true. We've got the King and the Wands. It's going to come. So the new is going to come in really fast. a lot of people are leaving. And this is a hanged man. So I had a vision that there'd be a lot of, I thought I was going to be a hung parliament, or is this turning everything upside down? Oh, yeah, back to this remote viewing. We actually remote view into the parliament, and now, God, my God, the in-house fighting was enormous in there. I can't tell you what else, anyway, that was quite interesting. See, we can do what they can do as well. Look, there's the cup card, the pentacles. The 10 of pentacles, eh? Do you know what? May is going to be a very interesting month here in Australia. The High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a lot of changes coming into our parliament. Will the military step in? I wonder. Will the military step in? Will they need to? Ooh, this 8 of Cups. Oh, it's a 7 of Cups, sorry. It's got all the heads up in here. The High Priestess. Queen of Cups. A lot of female energy there. Something riding in. There you go. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting times. How beautiful. Now, oh, a nice drink. Okay. Do you know what? In May, we're going to see a lot of changes in Australia, which is beautiful. That sums it up. The readings I did, I honour and release all that was dark from that, unhook it, sent love to it, and how horrific all that actually was. But, you know, as we move forward into this, we have to honour, you know, the feminine womb is the most sacred thing on this earth. And it's been so mistreated by man for centuries. Wow, that blows my mind. And wow, it's just mine. I just have no words. How these elite and these people in power just abused it like that did. It just blows my mind that, you know, I never thought things could be that bad. But here we are, cleaning it up in 2022. Thank God. Thank God for all those warriors and light workers and the people that work behind the scenes. I thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart. And I mean it. And for all the people that look after young ones and help them. And there's so much to do still. So let's really embrace the world and make it a better place for everyone. Bring peace back. Yes. And don't follow the narrative on TV all the time. They're just pissing in you, eh? Hey, you know, the other thing, I Googled something the other day from 2016. Google the man playing the piano with his penis. And then remember that Australia's sending a lot of money to that country. A man playing the piano with his penis. Find out where he's from. I'll let you Google that and enjoy. And it's actually on on there. So just put that into Google and you'll find out who it is, okay? And then tell me if it's not, everything is not staged, okay? So with that said, I'm signing off now. I hope this video inspired you and you learned some history of what really went on, as it does. Is the other thing I want to say also, please don't get so emotionally involved in things that you don't know that whether they're true or not, like some shows that are coming on with certain stuff in it. I'll do a quick reading on it. So this new movie was shown with this kind of stuff, right? You know, you get what I mean. All right. What's that? A false flag? Because I feel it's not a very good energy, okay? So let's have a look. What was it a quick note of fame? What was it? Yeah, it wasn't like I got the 3 of cups here. It was to fulfill the cup. All right. Got the 9 of swords here. It's very stressful. It's stressed a lot of people out. Please don't stress out over it, okay? The 6 of swords, okay? The 4 of swords. The 3 of wands. The 2 of cups. And I asked her for it. So, and the 1 of pentacles. So it's not all of, look, what I'm feeling, some of the information that was in it is like about the snake venom, and that is, for once, there's not enough snake venom to go around in all the water. So to ease your mind off, I believe in my heart, I had this vision that was crap, right? So it's not true, basically. I stick with that in my intuition. You don't have to. To me, I don't like scaring humanity. Some people just watched it, that's fine, but there's older people that take things like that very seriously. We have to be very careful what we actually put out there, I believe. Look, that's the person's belief, whoever made that, you know. If that's what he wants to believe, that's fine. But to me, it's not true, okay? I don't feel that. Maybe there were this coincidence, maybe, because you've got to remember, when it comes to big companies like that, they work on a lot of different things at different times. But when it comes to this, there's a stuff called fluoramine, right? I know they've already started putting it into water, and it's actually here in South, I think it was in South Australia. You can Google it, right? So when you put fluoride in the water and you leave the lid open, it evaporates. But when you put this stuff in it, it doesn't. You can't even filter it out of your water, and that's what's scary. And it actually had the same effects in your body than it did, basically, you know. Just take that, but you can Google it. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm not here to fearmonger either. So It's so you need to check what you're actually doing with everything. But that story, no. Is there anything else we need to know about it? Oh, so we got the Knife of Pentacles. Interesting. So these are modern tarot cards, so they're typing the story in basically. What's the purpose? Oh, it's a moon card. It's very dark. And it did what it did. It spread around. The smoky man. Well, that's that. You can take that any way you want. So, yeah, interesting. So, with that being said, bless you all. I better do a positive something here. All right. Give me a positive card, universe. My guides. Love, 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 love. Blessing, blessing, blessings. Butterfly spirit. Everyone's transformation. How beautiful is that? The blue. Gratitude. It's time for gratitude, transformation, and generosity. Beautiful. So stay safe, stay happy, be in your power, stay in control of your life. Don't just be aware of what's going on around you, and just embrace everything. And with that said, goodbye. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Okay, bye bye.